Modern life fractures attention, flooding the mind with endless signals, demands, and interruptions daily. Notifications, messages, tasks, and worries compete simultaneously, leaving focus scattered, exhausted, and fragile mentally. The brain jumps constantly, seeking relief, novelty, and comfort, instead of sustained, deliberate effort. People crave control, clarity, and productivity, yet feel unable to direct attention intentionally, consistently. This tension creates frustration as days pass busy, yet meaningful progress remains elusive often. Hard tasks feel heavier amid noise, causing avoidance, procrastination, and quiet self-doubt cycles. The desire for focus grows stronger, while the mind feels increasingly uncontrollable inside today. Many people hold ambitious goals, dreams, and a genuine interest in self-improvement growth. They read, watch, and consume motivation, feeling inspired without translating ideas into action consistently. Comfortable routines quietly replace effort, providing relief, while ambitions remain safely theoretical. Resistance appears whenever work begins, creating delay, disguised as rest planning or optimization. The mind chooses ease because effort threatens comfort, certainty, and emotional stability temporarily. This gap between intention and action slowly erodes confidence, creating internal frustration and doubt. Ambition stays alive mentally, while behavior remains unchanged, reinforcing a painful, invisible contradiction. The mind repeatedly pulls toward easy distractions, offering instant relief from effort discomfort. Awareness of procrastination exists, yet stopping feels strangely impossible despite strong intentions. Each delay reinforces habits, teaching the brain avoidance works better than engagement. Self-doubt grows as promises break, creating frustration, guilt, and declining trust in oneself. The cycle repeats because distraction numbs discomfort while postponing consequences temporarily again. Over time, motivation weakens, replaced by resignation, confusion, and quiet internal resistance patterns. Procrastination becomes automatic, not chosen, driven by conditioning rather than conscious decision-making. The mind naturally avoids discomfort, seeking safety, familiarity, and predictable emotional states always. Resistance is not personal failure, but biological wiring designed to conserve energy. Hard tasks signal uncertainty, effort, and possible failure, triggering protective avoidance responses. Motivation alone cannot override this wiring because safety instincts operate faster than reasoning. Understanding this removes self-blame, replacing judgment with clarity and self-respect. When resistance is seen as natural, curiosity replaces frustration and internal pressure softens. This reframe shifts the problem from character weakness to nervous system understanding. The first step is noticing resistance without attempting to eliminate or suppress it. Observe the urge to avoid, without labeling it weakness, laziness, or moral failure. Awareness separates the observer from the impulse, creating space between thought and action. This distance reduces reactivity, allowing choice where compulsion once dominated behavior. Understanding replaces force, making the mind feel safer and less defensive internally. When judgment drops, resistance loses intensity because it no longer needs protection. Before change is possible, the mind must feel seen rather than attacked. Forcing effort against resistance creates internal conflict that drains energy and focus quickly. The mind pushes back harder when it feels attacked, pressured, or misunderstood internally. Acceptance reduces friction, allowing resistance to exist without escalating into struggle. When fighting ends, energy returns, creating clarity and psychological space for movement. Awareness creates distance, breaking identification with urges and emotional reactions naturally. This distance weakens resistance because it no longer defines identity or control. Ending the inner battle allows effort to arise calmly without coercion or force. Eastern philosophy teaches flow emerges when resistance drops and actions align naturally with practice. Fighting life creates friction, draining energy, clarity, and momentum over time within daily experience. Non-resistance allows effort to feel lighter, sustainable, and psychologically safer for consistent progress. Harmony replaces struggle, letting behavior move forward without internal opposition or exhausting emotional battles. When resistance dissolves, motivation no longer feels forced or artificial, but emerges organically naturally. Progress accelerates because energy flows toward tasks instead of pushing against fear and hesitation. This philosophy reframes discipline as cooperation with mind rather than domination through patience, awareness. Hard tasks are not enemies, but signals of growth requiring patience, presence, and engagement. Difficulty indicates learning zones where skills expand through exposure, repetition, and adaptation. Seeing challenges as threats creates resistance, while seeing them as teachers reduces fear. Letting go of push-harder mentality allows effort to feel cooperative rather than violent. Growth happens through meeting difficulty calmly, not through constant internal pressure. When difficulty is accepted, the nervous system relaxes, allowing clearer thinking and steadier action. This reframe transforms hard work into a natural process rather than punishment or struggle. Stillness interrupts constant stimulation, allowing the nervous system to settle gradually. Silence reduces mental noise, creating space where thoughts slow and clarity emerges. Pausing activity signals safety to the brain, reducing urgency and scattered attention. In stillness, the mind stops reacting and begins observing patterns more clearly. This calm state reveals priorities previously hidden beneath noise and compulsive activity. Stillness replaces frantic doing with presence, enabling intentional choice rather than reflex. Before effective action, the mind must experience quiet stability and grounded awareness. When action pauses, the mind settles, allowing scattered thoughts to organize naturally again slowly. Problems appear smaller, clearer, and less threatening once mental speed decreases significantly for everyone. Stillness reveals inner strength previously buried beneath urgency, distraction, and emotional noise inside daily. Clarity emerges not through forcing answers, but by allowing space for insight to surface. When the mind rests, problems lose their exaggerated weight and emotional charge over time. Calm awareness makes difficult tasks feel approachable because perspective expands gently with practice consistently. Stillness prepares the ground where focused effort can grow without resistance or strain later. The lotus grows from mud, demonstrating that discomfort nourishes strength rather than preventing growth. Mud provides conditions necessary for roots to anchor and draw nutrients steadily upward. Growth begins in darkness, stillness, and pressure, long before visible progress appears. Avoiding discomfort delays development, while embracing it allows natural unfolding over time. Stillness within difficulty becomes the foundation supporting resilience, clarity, and inner strength. The lotus teaches that struggle is not failure, but part of becoming whole. Through this metaphor, discomfort transforms from obstacle into necessary soil for progress. Stillness must translate into action, otherwise clarity fades and old habits quickly return again. Intentional action begins with choosing one task and committing full presence patiently today alone. This approach limits overwhelm by narrowing focus and reducing cognitive decision fatigue during work. Precision matters more than speed because accuracy builds confidence without unnecessary errors over time. Acting deliberately trains the brain to associate effort with calm control and steady focus. Small intentional steps convert stillness into momentum, supporting sustained, disciplined progress over long periods. This step bridges reflection and execution, ensuring insights become lived behavior through daily practice. A clear mind enables precise action, while mental chaos creates disorder throughout behavior patterns. When thoughts scatter, the body hesitates. Movements become inefficient, tense, and reactive. Alignment occurs when awareness, intention, and physical effort cooperate without internal contradiction. Reflection without action stagnates, while action without reflection becomes chaotic and unfocused. Balance between thinking and doing stabilizes energy and supports consistent, effective performance. The body responds smoothly when the mind feels calm-oriented and purposeful. Mind-body alignment transforms effort into coordinated movement rather than scattered struggle. Focused execution requires eliminating multitasking and committing attention to one action fully. When attention fragments, quality declines, errors increase, and mental fatigue accumulates rapidly. Single task focus calms the nervous system by reducing competing demands and decisions. Full attention deepens engagement, making effort feel smoother, clearer, and more satisfying. Calm, deliberate execution builds trust between mind and body through reliable outcomes. Each completed action reinforces confidence, making sustained focus easier over time. Focused execution transforms hard work into manageable sequences rather than overwhelming demands. Progress often feels slow, challenging expectations, conditioned by instant results and constant stimulation. Impatience creates resistance by demanding outcomes before systems have time to adapt. The mind interprets slowness as failure, increasing pressure, doubt, and emotional tension. Patience calms urgency, allowing effort to continue without triggering avoidance responses. Trusting gradual development aligns expectations with biological learning and adaptation rhythms. When patience replaces haste, consistency strengthens and resistance steadily diminishes. This step teaches endurance through calm commitment rather than emotional urgency. The lotus blooms only when conditions align following rhythms nature cannot be rushed. Forcing growth damages roots while patience allows strength to develop unseen beneath surface. Rushing progress creates strain that interrupts learning and destabilizes consistent effort. Growth respects timing, requiring repetition, rest, and gradual exposure to difficulty. Trusting the process reduces anxiety, allowing focus on daily actions instead of outcomes. When timing is honored, progress feels sustainable rather than forced or fragile. The lotus reminds patience sustains growth better than urgency or pressure ever could. Awareness reveals resistance without judgment, creating space between impulse and intentional choice calmly. Non-resistance ends inner battles, allowing energy to flow toward meaningful effort naturally. Stillness settles chaos, restoring clarity, strength, and perspective before action begins effectively. Intentional action applies clarity through focused steps taken one task at a time. Patience sustains progress by respecting natural learning rhythms and gradual adaptation processes. Together, these principles transform effort from struggle into aligned, purposeful movement daily. When integrated consistently, the mind cooperates, allowing hard things to become possible again.